Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "I will give affirmations that I have found most effective. However, one should never use an affirmation unless it's absolutely satisfying and convincing to his own consciousness. And often, an affirmation is changed to suit different people. For example, the following has brought success to many. I have wonderful work in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." I gave the first two lines to one of my students, and she added the last two. It made a most powerful statement, as there should always be perfect payment for perfect service, and a rhyme sinks easily into the subconscious. She went about singing it, and soon did receive wonderful work in a wonderful way, and gave wonderful service for wonderful pay. This is a legendary education on affirmations. So let's dive right in. So first of all, Florence Scovel Shinn is teaching us that we should never use an affirmation unless it's absolutely satisfying. It must convince our consciousness. Because ultimately, these affirmations are about convincing the subconscious mind. It has to sink down into our subconscious mind and kind of get into us. And so, when it comes to affirmations, you actually have to pick the ones that are absolutely satisfying and truly convince you that this will work. And Florence is clear that this is a personal thing. There are many powerful affirmations out there. If you search for it, you'll find so many. And you'll find so many incredible people teaching you affirmations too. But Florence gives you agency, and she gives you power, and she reminds you that you matter in this. This is about you and your affirmations. So, first of all, these affirmations must be completely satisfying. When you hear them, it must satisfy you at the deepest level, and it must truly convince you that what it's talking about is possible. Because there are affirmations that you want them, you want to like them. You hear that other people had great success with them, but it's not really doing much for you. Like, you can openly leave those alone and focus on affirmations that are truly satisfying and are immediately convincing. And then Florence also encourages you to change your affirmations to suit yourself. Like, again, she empowers you in so many ways. So you can take an affirmation and adjust it to your situation and what you feel is necessary to make it satisfying and convincing. So you don't have to take an affirmation and leave it as is or get rid of it. You can take an affirmation that is good mostly and then figure out the parts that aren't very strong and adjust it to be perfect just for you. So you end up with a customized affirmation just for yourself. Another thing that she mentions that I think is so interesting is that affirmations can be thought of as powerful statements. Her student, Louise Hay, actually has an affirmation series on YouTube called Power Words. And it's just about an hour and a half of affirmations. But it's not phrased like that. It's phrased as these are power words. Why? Because Florence is clear that these are powerful statements. These are power statements. And so when you use the affirmation, when you're about to, you must understand how powerful these words are and can be. So think of affirmations as power statements, as powerful statements that have the power to change the conditions of your life. And another tip Florence gives us is that the rhyme and the rhythm of these affirmations work too. Like, one general problem with affirmations is that they can be a little clunky. They can trip you up. They don't really flow off the tongue, so to speak. And you're more likely to grab a piece of paper and just read it because it's not really sinking into you. But when you put it in a rhyme, when you give it a good rhythm, then you end up with an affirmation that you can say and that you can enjoy. And you truly must be able to enjoy saying your affirmations. Some people are really serious about it, but Florence encourages you to sing it out loud. Treat it like a game. Treat it with fun. Treat it with delight. Be pleased with it. Understand their power, but delight in it. Because she says the very first thing she ever wrote was that most people consider life to be a battle, but it's not a battle, it's a game. So when you do your affirmations, you're not fighting to make anything happen. You're playing a game. You're on a playground. You are singing it, dancing it, reveling in it, enjoying it. You are delighting in it. A sense of wonder, a sense of pleasure. Enjoy it. Enjoy your affirmations. And it's your responsibility also to make sure that every affirmation be carefully worded and completely cover the ground. So yes, this is your invitation from Florence Scovel Shinn to take the lead on affirmations. Listen to what people say, read their affirmations, make a note, collect a whole bunch of affirmations that matter to you. But it's up to you to sit down and think about each affirmation carefully and decide which one you'll keep, which one you'll let go, and then which ones you'll adjust because you want it to be perfect. You want it to be powerful to you because it's about convincing you. It's about convincing your subconscious mind because that is the level of your mind that has all the power. Yeah, there is so much wisdom in the works of Florence Scovel Shinn. She just gave us a masterclass on how to select the right affirmation. I do deep dives into the works of Florence Scovel Shinn all the time. So if you love that, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I study her book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, as well as The Power of the Spoken Word, Your Word is Your Wand, and so on. Florence, was a metaphysical writer who wrote 100 years ago. Her writings are absolutely legendary. They're so wise, they're so good, they stand the test of time, and it's worth it. It's so worth it to spend some time doing a deep dive and learning and thinking about what she has to say. If you have some thoughts that you want to share with me, leave a comment. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.